if you're a heating and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, why should you talk about your negative emotions when it comes to life and business? And why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Bell, come to you live for HVAC Technicians Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business and a fantastic day to talk about you. Here's the thing. You know, a lot of times in business and in sales, everybody wants to talk about the happy stuff. And like, yay, you. I'm super stoked about the happy stuff. That's all fantastic. Now, here's the thing. We live in the real world. I live in the real world. You live in the real world. And there's days where you have emotions that are like this. And then there could be days, weeks, months where your emotions are way down here. And at some point, you do have to deal with them. And the reason I say this is the longer that you leave yourself in a negative emotional state, the higher the propensity that you have of sticking in that state and having problems and issues. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a doctor, attorney, lawyer, marriage counselor, or therapist, but I am a taco enthusiast. So if you do need help, go talk to a professional, go get some help. But in sales, here's what happens. Like you go to somebody and you're like, hey, I'm really struggling. Like, just go out and close another one. Like, yeah, I'm trying. I really am. Like, I'm opening up to you. I'm your manager. Don't tell me that stuff. Or I'm your owner. Don't tell me that stuff. Listen, there's things that you have to deal with on your own outside of business. Like if you're like, hey, manager, my tooth hurts, you'd be like, go see the dentist, right? If you're like, hey, I think I hurt my foot, they're going to go see a podiatrist. Listen, there is nothing wrong if you are having a negative emotion, fear, anxiety, guilt, doubt, uncertainty, worry, loneliness. We can go down the list of all of the negative emotions. If you're facing those things, please, by all means, go get some professional help. Like the faster that you can get help, the faster you're going to get out of an emotional rut. Now, as a sales coach, as a sales mentor, I can tell you this. It is far easier for me to fix a sales struggle when somebody's been down for 1, 2, or 3 days than somebody who's been down 1, 2, or 3 months. It's way easier to fix those emotional cycles for somebody who is like just into it versus super deep into it. And the reason I bring this up is I was having a really good conversation with one of my cohorts, one of the people who works with me on a different project. And we were talking like, hey, I'm happy that we can have a conversation together about this that isn't only business, it's about life. You know, they said, hey, there's a couple things going on in my life. And I was like, hey, would you mind, like, I'm not trying to top you, but I've got a couple things going on in my life too that are not so easy to deal with. And we kind of like, this is funny. We hung up the phone, but we both felt better. That's the role of a therapist or somebody outside the field. Now, here's the thing. If you want to be better at sales, you want to be good at what you do, you should absolutely join my email publication. Go right here to this URL, type it into a browser, drop in your name, your email address, maybe your phone number. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel. It's an email publication, right? You get emails from me. And occasionally I sell stuff. Got to pay for these awesome Aloha shirts and, jackets and the cool places that I go. So if you're like, hey, Scott, like I'm going to get judged. Like, believe me, you're going to get judged if you're not closing deals. You're going to have people talking about you not closing deals. What people say about your mental stability, instability, that's on them. You have the role and responsibility to take care of yourself. You have those things that are super importante for you to do. And I can't always tell you what they are. Okay. So here's the thing. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Right. So why not today find a therapist for whatever issues you are. Now, I'm going to tell you, heads up, therapy is going to cost you somewhere between $100, depending upon where you live, and $500 an hour. There's things that you could look up online where you could pay somebody in a different country that's going to cost you less, and you could do it over Zoom, to have conversations when you struggle, to express your doubts, to express whatever's going on in life, right? Part of my role and responsibility when I rode with technicians was I got to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hey, Scott, I'm fighting with my significant other. Hey, Scott, I've got problems with money. Hey, Scott, I'm having physical issues that I really don't want to talk about with anybody. Like, I was the dude that they opened up to because they felt safe with me. And you know what would happen is their numbers would go up because somebody got the chance to listen. But in the industry, everybody's like, blah, 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 blah. Can't say it, can't, nope. Right? They don't want to hear it because then they got to take responsibility. I gave a presentation in Las Vegas in 2016, and I broached this topic, and a business owner literally stood up and said, Scott, like in the middle of my presentation, right? Room filled with people. Scott, this is not my responsibility. This is not my role. Why would you even bring this up? Like, I have been on this for over a decade. Like, if you really want to be a closer in sales, you want to do better and you want to make some magic happen, take care of yourself mentally. It's night and day. Like, here's the thing. Hi, my name's Scott. I've been through some massive, massive struggles in life, right? Hi, my name's Scott. I've been through massive struggles. You know what helped? Getting them off my chest and talking them through. You know what helped? Not dragging that into the office and not having conversations. Now, all results may vary, right? And you may find, hey, Scott, this isn't for me. But you know what? Gosh darn it, at least you tried it. At least you went out on a limb. Now, one last caveat. I almost said caviar. I'm like, no, one last caveat here, okay? One last caveat. If you are getting help, your role and responsibility is to keep that quiet. I'm just, trust me on this one. Somehow, some way, somewhere, it will be used against you in your court of peers, not in a court of law, but in a court of peers. And someone's going to say something to you, and then you're going to go like, I don't want to go anymore. Like, it's not them. It's you against you in sales first. It's you against everybody else second. Go ahead and be greedy with this. You like if you got a significant other, maybe have the conversation with them. If you got people in your life that you can absolutely freaking trust, tell them, hey, I'm going to give you a damning statement. I'm going for therapy for these things. But what I wouldn't do is walk into a sales meeting and be like, whoa, what up, dudes? What up, chicks, bros, babes? My name's Scott. I'm getting therapy. No. Because here's what happens is the person that is your enemy will figure out how to use that against you. They will figure out absolutely how to pick that thing apart and come against you. And it will hurt. It'll be painful. It'll make you question if you want to stay in therapy, if you want to do those things. So be aware. There is nothing wrong. Bob Beverly, friend of mine, lives in New York, been a therapist for like 40 or 50 years. He said, hey, Scott, if your tooth hurts, where do you go? Oh, to the dentist. If your eyes hurt, where do you go? To the optometrist. If your car breaks down, where do you go? To the mechanic. If your roof leaks, where do you go? You see a roofer. Right? He goes, but if your heart hurts or your mind hurts, where do you go? You see a therapist. You get that stuff taken care of, right? So, heads up, one last final warning. Be careful about who you tell, because if your enemy gets a hold of this, I promise you, they will find a way to use it against you, and you'll stop going and getting the help that you need when you should absolutely get the help that you need. You got one of three things that you could do from here. Just one of three. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.